All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to week 2. Hopefully the first week was pretty fun. You learned a lot. You were fascinated. You had some questions, maybe some frustrations. I hope you had the whole experience. It's the best. It's necessary. It's important. We gave you a broad overview of psychopathology and diagnosis. Now we're going to kind of zoom in to certain aspects of it to help it make sense. So right now we're going to focus more on childhood disorders. And before we go into that, I want to spend a little bit of time on assessment. And so the term objective, what does that mean to be objective? You know, I have this wallet here. If I drop the wallet fell. Due to the law of gravity, I dropped the wallet, it fell down. Objectively, I can see it, you can see it. It's objectively true. But a subjective interpretation would be, Cam dropped the wallet because he's clumsy, because he's dumb. You can see the difference where there's the subjective experience. We want to try our very best to step into that objective realm. But doing that with behavioral health is incredibly challenging because we are assessing what cannot be seen. We're assessing behavior, thoughts, feelings, client's interpretation, our interpretation. Focusing on objectivity can be incredibly challenging. So there's some things that you can do. The DSM helps with that. But let's say I've got a client that's sitting over there and I do a lot of work with PTSD for war trauma. And I'm starting to build a diagnosis in my mind that looks like PTSD. And then the patient is sitting there and I can see there's one of the diagnostic criteria for PTSD is avoidance of things that remind him of the trauma. And so I can see that when we're talking about certain things that bring up the trauma, the body language is changing. Like they're tensing up, they're doing this, they're breaking eye contact. Objectively, that looks like an avoidance behavior. Typically, we will do that when there's something that freaks us out, like, we're like protecting ourselves. So I'm going to document that. You know, the patient demonstrated avoidant behavior as manifested by breaking eye contact, crossing arms, looking away, change of tone, or using their language as well. I have a lot of service members that have a really hard time being in big crowds. And so they will mention things like, there's not a chance in the world I'm going to go to a Walmart at 5 p.m. I'm going to document that. That is an avoidance behavior. And so being able to use client language and behavior, it helps build your case. And so it's also important just to look at what's not being said. Really pay attention to the body language, the tone of voice, your eye contact. Like, I truly believe that more is said with your body than what is articulated. Another thing we were going to look at as well is just really basic therapy or treatment planning, and that's establishing a SMART goal. So hopefully SMART goal is familiar, but if not, I'll briefly go through it. So SMART, an acronym. S, specific. M, measurable. A, attainable. R, realistic. T, timely. And we need to do that for our patients because one of the things we need in behavioral health is we need momentum. One SMART goal at a time. You're right here. I want to get you right here. As soon as you get here, what's happening next? You guessed it, another SMART goal to the point where we're functioning to the way that we want to be. And I want you to use those SMART goals towards yourself. We are going to demonstrate, our own ability to make changes. And so use a SMART goal towards yourself. Like I said, I'm going to be doing meditation. Have I started yet? No. So I need a therapist. But I'm documenting that, like I keep putting it off. So I'm going to commit to doing it right after this video. I promise. Shifting gears. There's a lot of information here about assessment for children. And children, they're really, really interesting because what we notice is that the presentation can be more expressive. And working with a child's mind can be a little different than working with an adult. For those who have worked with children in the past, you know what I'm talking about. And so understanding that children display things differently than adults, incredibly important. But the pro to working with children is that their minds are much more malleable than adult minds. If we can intervene sooner, provide skills, treat certain conditions, the likelihood of them being successful down the road is so much higher. And another thing that's a lot of fun as well is like, you can get creative. Children are very expressive, imaginative. And if you can tap into that side where even your own inner child, being able to be creative, have fun, play. The wonderful thing about working with children is you can do so much in 5 to 10 minutes. And then if you're hanging out with them for an hour, they got like 30 minutes just to play, which you're getting paid for that. Sounds awesome. As always, let me know if you've got any questions about any of this stuff. I'm here for you. Hopefully you enjoy this week. If there's any challenges that come up, please let me know, and we'll catch you next week. See ya.